Welcome back to the show. Joining me now is another inspiring Vancouver local. I'm talking about Perminder Chohan. He has co-authored books with Sir Richard Branson, Brian Tracy. He also wrote his own book, My 10 Secrets to Success, which was just recently translated from English to Punjabi. Both books are available on Amazon. He's a motivational speaker, he is a coach, and he's an entrepreneur and humanitarian. He was born in India, and when Perminder first came to Canada, he could not speak English, and now he has done all this amazing work, and he's a filmmaker and producer. The list just goes on. Perminder, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Zara, for spending time with me and letting me talk to the audience and share my experience and the life I have gained a lot of experience since I came to Canada, how my life was changed. And thank you for giving me the time.
My pleasure. It's a very inspiring story. I've read a lot of articles about you as well as gone through your books. Now, let's start back from the beginning. You were mentioning that when you were born in India and when you went to school there, your parents did not have money to purchase shoes for you to go to school. So you had to go to school barefoot. Can you tell our audience about that experience?
It's because my father was the only earning person in the family. So we were three brothers, and my mom was a housewife. And we were always struggling to have luxury items and other things. So usually when we go to school in India, the summer is so hot, and roads are melting and other things. Like I remember the day I had rubber shoes, and it was almost melting, and I had blisters on my feet. So sometimes you like walking barefoot to the school. So in that kind of heat, it's you can imagine what's happening. So we used to run and see the grass is there. We used to run and stand there for 1 or 2 minutes. Then we run to another place. So that's how my life was.
Now you have a son. Do you ever remind him this, stories such as this? Because that is, it's definitely one of the basic needs to have shoes. So the fact that you come from really, really humble beginnings and now you have amounted a lot of success, which we will get to, but I always like to start with the beginnings. So how old were you when you moved to Canada, and what was that journey like for you?
I was 25. I moved to Canada in 1990. So I was in a government job in India, but I was engaged prior to joining the government job. So my wife was here, so I moved here, then we got married. And coming to Canada, a new country, it was a lot of the challenges. Um, Totally different experience compared to India. So it was eye-opening when I came here. I was having a very hard time going and finding a job because I didn't have enough English skills. So it was a huge problem for me. Anywhere you go, then they're looking for basic English skills. Can you speak? I could read and write, but never spoke any English in India. So everything was going over my head. So it was a very challenging time in the beginning.
Now, you had mentioned, I was reading in one of the articles, that there was a moment that you contemplated going back to India because you were really struggling over here and you had, sort of found some success in India. What was that defining moment for you that you decided to stay in Canada? You decided to pursue something here even though you were struggling? Language is such a big thing, So what was that moment and what action did you take?
When I moved from India to Canada, it was like a dream coming true. I was thinking I'm going to the country like a heaven, and it was totally opposite side here. So I resigned from my job before coming to Canada. So it was hard to go back and find the same job. So one day I was sitting at my friend's house, and who was less educated than me from India. So I asked him, I said, how did you learn English? What did you do? So he told me he started watching TV shows. And that was the turning point for me. So then I started watching TV shows, General Hospital, Young and the Restless, and all those shows. So I watched every day, and it slowly started to get. And then things started changing. And then I got a job, and I was MA in Punjabi in India. So I was thinking whenever I go apply for a job, I was putting masters. Even I couldn't speak any English. So then they were thinking I'm overqualified.
Okay.
So nobody was giving me job. So then the next time I went to find a job, and I start getting a little bit English, and then I put grade 10 education. That's how I got my first job. Yeah.
Now, to give you a little bit of history on Perminder, today you obviously have a job. Not only do you have a job, you started your own business. I would love to talk about your journey as an entrepreneur for anyone who's watching right now, especially in today's economy. You know, your story is certainly very inspiring to me and hopefully to our audience, and I know it's to a lot of people. For someone who could not speak English and the success you've had today, in your team you have hundreds of people.
Yeah.
I forget the number, the 500, 600?
Yeah, 600.
600 individuals that you work with. You're a motivational speaker. You have written these inspiring books with Sir Richard Branson and Brian Tracy, as well as your own. So I would love to know, what was the turning point in your life that, you know, from the decision to I'm going to go back because I'm struggling and having a hard time here, and none of my skills are translating in this new country, to becoming an entrepreneur? What was that journey like?
I think one thing, the value my father gave me was, he said, anything you wanted to achieve in life, never give up. So that was the principle I was following. I didn't care what kind of job I was getting. My first job was in a plastic factory as a machine operator. Then I got laid off after 3 months. Then one of my friends, we were in college together in India, and he owned a plumbing company in Vancouver. And he said, you don't have a job, and why don't you start working with me? So I started working with me, and one thing I have is I'm fast learner. So I learned everything in plumbing within 6 months. So then I started my own plumbing company. That was the turning point. But then I went to BCIT. I was doing my apprenticeship and running my company at the same time. So I had more than 19 people working with me in a plumbing company, and we were doing a lot of work. But I was having problem collecting money on time. People were not paying on time. So the bills were piling up. I was struggling. I was having a very tough time keeping up with the business. You're working like I worked 14 to 16 hours every single day, 7 days a week, and never took a day off.
Wow.
For 3 years.
Well, that's obviously your tenacity and resilience has paid off, because now, you know, you don't have those issues. So for anyone who is perhaps either wanting to be an entrepreneur or who is a newcomer, like, what advice would you give them?
Everything is possible in life. There's a lot of opportunities available now compared to the time when I came. So a lot of people in business, a lot of guiding hands out there. Just look for your whatever your interest and passion is. So just find a mentor, and they can guide you, and never give up on your dreams. Keep trying. So failing, I failed a few times in life. Failing does not mean you're going to fail forever. So every time you fail, you learn a lesson from that. So don't repeat the same mistake, and learn there's a lot of opportunity, a lot of people available to guide you, and find a mentor who can guide you and give you the right path to the success.
And you are very involved in the South Asian community here, and not just the South Asian community, but community at large. You travel a lot for work. You've been recognized for your work. You were in London and you received the NRI award. Can you tell our audience about that?
So in London, every year they give awards to NRIs who moved from India to other countries.
So non-resident Indian.
Non-resident Indians. So I got an award at Business Entrepreneur who break all the boundaries, and that's I went to London, and it was in House of Lords. So I got an award from there, and it's very proud moment, for the things you do and the success you're achieving in business. So once you, at that point, people see and recognize you, and it's a huge, it's moving moment to do more in life and make a difference.
And it's certainly a full circle moment for you because of being a non-resident Indian, and you do go back to India often. I want to talk a little bit about your humanitarian work, because as you have gained success as an entrepreneur, you have made sure to give back to the community. How important is that to you? Not just here in Canada, but also internationally, you've been involved to give back. So I would love to hear about that.
It's whoever I am today, Perminder, whoever Perminder is today, it's because of community and the people around me. So they are a big part of changing my life. So it becomes my responsibility to give back to those people, those community, and making a difference. And that's how you create abundance. God gives you 100 times more. So that's the philosophy I learned from my father. My father told me when I was growing in my early age. So my father told me, nobody's going to remember what you own, what kind of car you drive. People always going to remember were you there for somebody else. So God created connection with other people. I met a lot of great personalities who are doing a lot of great things in the world. And I always wanted to chip in, make a difference, and give back. So that changes me as a person as well. It keeps me humble, and it keeps me remembering where I came from. And that gives me courage. Whatever I can do is my responsibility. That's how I think. So we all grow in business and make money, but are we doing enough to give back and help those people?
That is very beautifully said. That not just focusing on accumulating and a very me mindset versus what legacy, I think that is the word that's coming to me, is that what is going to be your legacy, for future generations. And especially, I'm an immigrant. I've been here for 23 years, actually this year, and I can very much resonate with your story. And, we have an idea of what life will be like once you move to a new country, and I'm so grateful to be Canadian. But it took time, it took many years, and to understand the culture and even the little nuances of language and learning and the fact that I spoke English when I came here, but the fact that you did not even speak English and you have co-authored these books now. I want to talk about, the books you've co-authored, Uncommon with Brian Tracy, who is one of the top motivational speakers and business coaches in the world. He's Canadian as well. And Sir Richard Branson. Tell me about those books and how did they come to be? And actually, Brian Tracy interviewed you.
Yeah.
So tell me about that whole experience.
So when I got involved in life insurance, originally I got involved to make money, but something happened in my life which changed the entire life of mine. I gave insurance policy to one of my friends, him and his wife, and 2 years later, his wife was in depression, and she went into room after dinner and she committed suicide. So the policy was 425,000. So when I took that check and took that to family, so I was able to see what I do in other people's life through life insurance. So I was able to pay off all his debt, his townhouse, fully funded his children's education policies, and he still left with $100,000 surplus money. So that moment hit me very hard. So after that day, it was not about money anymore. It was what do I do for others? So I was the only person standing with the check to help that family. So then I started building my team. So then the focus totally switched from selling to team building. So how we can help more people. So end of the day, when somebody passes away in unforeseen circumstances, and you help hundreds of people.
I think what I'm also hearing is service.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that is also at the core of everything that you do is service because, you know, not only you were recognized in London as a non-resident Indian, uh, even here locally, can you tell our audience about some of the recognition that you have received because you have done a lot of humanitarian work here locally in Vancouver, in Surrey?
So I support over 36 charities locally and internationally. So I'm always the fundraisers for the hospitals. I have two non-profit foundations. So one foundation is Perminder Chohan Foundation, and we do a food drive every year, and then we deliver that food. So we collect 10 to 11 tons food in one day. Then we deliver at food banks, and we also do blanket and jacket drive where we collect socks, jackets, and blankets. We also contribute huge amounts to that. So then we deliver that to all shelters in Lower Mainland. And one more thing we do is we go to Vancouver United Church on Hastings. So every month, once a month, we go and feed the homeless. So I always try to remember the life and the things we enjoy today, but there are many people suffering out there. So do something for them, whatever you can afford to do it. So I take a team of people with me, and when they serve, they also see what we do for others. So their mindset also changes.
I think that is massive. You know, what you were saying, that I believe that is also true abundance and true wealth when you're not just focusing on what I can get or where I'm going to travel, or not just focusing on ourselves, but focusing on how I may be able to help, even if in little ways possible. Like, to me, that is living an inspired life, and, you know, hence the name of our show.
Yeah.
And I definitely thought you were a very inspiring individual to bring on the show. So tell me about your book, My 10 Secrets to Success.
So I'm not a psychologist, or I'm not a special skills person who had education in that field. So I put all the principles I've learned since I came to Canada, how my life changed, how I became successful. So the 10 principles I follow every day. So that's what it is in the book, and it's very effective. It's a regular person's life, how we can make a difference and change our life and take it to right direction. So each chapter is like a book. So 10 principles included in the book, and a lot of people are taking benefit out of that. And it's available on Amazon. And I follow great personalities like Brian Tracy, Tony Robbins. So a lot of people. We are also created from abundance God gives us. We also created a studio in United States called Abundance Studios. So all the documentaries we make, so we make through Abundance Studios.
That is beautiful. I did not know about that. That's the most recent development.
Yeah.
So I read your book. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And one of the principles you talk about a lot is the power of visualization. and how that has helped you in your life. And even, it's the power of the subconscious mind. It may be a little bit woo-woo for some people out there, but it's definitely worked in your life, and I can testify to that as well as in my personal life. So tell our viewers about that principle, because you speak very highly about visualizing exactly what you want to create and then taking action to go towards that.
It's a visual like in it's what you wanted to create, the kind of life you wanted to create. You so if you visualize that every day, and that's what you become. So every night before I go to bed, I visualize next day, and I have also a plan, 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, 10 year plan, and I visualize that plan every single day 2 to 3 times. So that's how it becomes reality, because your subconscious mind, so anything you visualize and try to do, it goes in your system. While even you're sleeping, your system is working. It's hard to believe, but I am the prime example. So I do it every day, and I create the life I wanted to live and the difference I wanted to make. So I do it every day without missing any day.
Can you tell me where you got the inspiration to do that and how long you have been doing this?
One of my ideal is Brian Tracy. So he talks about all those things. I was always following him, watching his video, listening to his audios, and also I was interviewed by him in San Diego. So I learned a lot of stuff. So I follow. You have to have a mentor. When I came to Canada, it was hard to find a actual mentor. So now a lot of people out there to guide you. So just finding the right person to guide you, and so that's what I kept listening to his tapes and videos, watching videos over and over and over, and that's how my life changed.
That's really beautiful. And I love the fact, I think I'm going to try to implement, and it's a very inspiring thing to hear. And I think that's what I love about your book as well, that in every chapter you have examples of success stories, but also how to implement it in your life. There's like a questionnaire at the end of every chapter, like written exercises that you can do. I really believe in the power of your subconscious mind. I feel like that really helped me personally when I was living in Paris, France, and I moved there without even speaking a word of French. So similar to your story of, moving to Canada. What does success mean to you?
Success is not just owning the things in life. Success is changing the life of people around you. So that's how I take success. Even if you're making a small, tiny difference in somebody's life and take them into positive direction, that's a huge. Money cannot replace that. So I focus on that. So everybody makes money in business, but changing somebody's life, be a part of somebody's life, that's a huge thing for me. So that's what I call success. Not just owning a house or car or something else. Success is be there for somebody else and help them to shape up their life.
Making an impact.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hearing, making an impact. That is really beautiful, Perminder. So tell me now, you were mentioning Abundance Studios. You have helped produce a few films, and they have found success. Can you tell us about the film projects you've been involved in?
So first one was Freedom Isn't Free, Folds of Honor. So there are organization in United States, Folds of Honor. They give scholarships to the spouses and children to fallen soldiers. So they have paid out 120 million in scholarships since 2008. So that was very moving story, how the organization was started, that the person was involved. So we did documentary on that. And we were nominated for 3 Emmy Awards, and we got 2. And second one we made on human trafficking. So it's happening right here. That's the name of the movie. It's available on Amazon. And It was the agents from FBI who left FBI to make a difference. So there's an organization called Operation Underground Railroad. So Tim Ballard is the person who started the foundation. So they actually go and raid places with the police and free up children from human smuggling. So they have freed up more than 40,000 children. So that was also a very moving story. This is how we give back. We don't make any money from the movies. It's all charity. So we have entrepreneurs foundation in United States. All the funds from book sales and movie sale goes into foundation, and we use 50% of the money for next project, and we a group of people about 15, so we chip in 50% of the cost together. And we have director who is 25 times Emmy Award winner, and he always searching for good stories, good projects. And third one we did is on the truth about reading. So the old times, how the schools were working and how the reading was important and other things. Some of the things disappearing from school system. So that's what we try to show. I got Champions Medal in literacy from Literacy Council of San Diego for that. And the fourth movie currently we're working on is Hero. So Hero is a movie where the regular normal person moving from outside the United States and became a celebrity and made a huge difference. So we are covering some of the country singers, some of the people who broke all the boundaries, and we are sharing their story in the movie.
It sounds like breaking boundaries is also something that you're doing in your own life, and it's very inspiring for me to hear, and I believe for our audience as well. I would love to hear who inspires Perminder Chohan. Who inspires you?
I'm inspired by people and the challenges, and I look at my ideals, the people who are changing the life of millions of people around the world. Even they are motivational speakers, but they give back every day. So that gives me motivation to do things, and I see people around me, and whatever is needed, I find something, because life becomes boring if there's no challenge. So I try to create challenge in my life to take it to next level. So that's how it keeps me going all the time.
Well, we would love to hear how you're challenging yourself right now. Is there something, a project that you're working on at the moment that you're able to share with us?
It's too early to share, but
Okay.
something is coming up I'm putting together. So lawyers are working on something which is gonna make a huge difference in the sector of education. And I'm creating a non-profit to give back for the education for the post-secondary for children. So that is in the planning now, and in 6 to 8 months something will come up, and I will share with you.
That sounds really, really beautiful. What inspires you in Vancouver? What place or anywhere that you like to go when you're perhaps having a tough day, and whether taking a drive there or a person that you like to see? What inspires you about our city and living here?
I just, when something bugging me, bothering me, or I'm frustrated about something, I find a calm, cool place where I go and sit alone and do my thinking. So I also work on training my brain. So take my heart and brain to the same level. So then you're not double-minded about things. So I spend time and think through, and 15-20 minutes later I'm the same person I was before.
So it sounds like a meditation practice.
Yeah,
Practice.
yeah, yeah. So it's very, very important to connect to yourself. So you always Because sometime when you're in business, you're dealing with people, when you have people around you, it's affecting you all the time. So negative things around you, it's always affecting, even sometimes you don't feel. So you need time for yourself to connect to yourself, meditate, and calm yourself down and go with life.
Do you have a particular spot? Is it like going to a lake or to the beach? Is there a particular spot that you like to go to?
Sometime I sit in my office alone, I close the door, and if I'm close to any park or water, so like a flowing water, so that gives me more calmness to think about things. And also to change, after the meditation, to change myself, I go see my friends who gives me positive energy. I spend time with them. We joke around. Sometimes we play cards. You know, just get out of the routine bugging you and get involved with other people who give you motivation to do more things.
That's really beautifully said. Well, I'm certainly feeling very, very inspired right now. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule. I know you have a lot on the go. And for more information, I believe you have social media, Perminder Chohan. We will link. And thank you, Perminder, for joining us. I'm feeling very inspired, and I hope you're feeling inspired as well.
Thank you, Zara, for spending time with me and letting me share my story with others. And one thing I wanted to say is anything you wanted to achieve in life, never give up on your dreams. So always keep going there, setbacks, hurdles, but you're going to cross everything and become successful one day. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. That was beautiful.